So we put it into sport, we're on torque brake. Jeez Louise. I was not expecting it to launch that hard. I'm in the 2023 Infiniti Q50 Sport Sedan. The best thing about this car lies under the hood. It is the reprise of the twin turbo V6. It's been in this vehicle for a very long time now. This car came out in 2013 as a 2014 model year, and here's the twin turbo V6. We see a more hopped up version of this in the new Nissan Z, for example. And we also have a hopped up version of this, a 400 horsepower version of this, in the red sport of this very car, the range chopper of this car. This is the Sensory. This is over $50,000. As it's equipped, it is $53,000 for an aging platform vehicle. Today we're going to discuss if $53K is worth it for this compact sports sedan. With this Sensory package, we get some upgraded front fascia here. We got a lot of black accents here around the fog lights, as well on the grille. Very beautiful grille. Infiniti's done a great job with the original design, and it's held up, I would say, fairly well over about, I guess it's about 10 years at this point. We also have an illuminated Infiniti logo on the front. Yes, you can get that from the factory, and you also have illuminated side skirts, or you could say underglow. Definitely stay tuned for my nighttime drive of this car so you get a better idea. I love the aggressive front hood of all Infiniti models. We have blacked out window surrounds as well as the glossy black mirrors, 19-inch wheels on here. We have blacked out Infiniti on the trunk lid. Unfortunately, this is all chrome. It would have been nice to have that in black as well. And yeah, pretty standard dual exhaust there. I'll lift this up. You can fold down this rear seat here. You also have a pass-through, so you fold down with these little releases. Pretty standard trunk for a sedan. I don't see a spare tire underneath the cargo floor here, unfortunately, but we do have a nice first aid kit that velcros into the side there. It's not motorized, so you got to pull it down old school style. At least there's a handle in there for that. Like I said, overall, the Q50 has held up very well with the design. At least on the outside. Unfortunately, we don't have this blacked out, these chrome strips on the handles. Getting on the inside, we have the saddle tan leather. It's pretty plain if you ask me. We don't have any ornate design here. Seats are pretty comfortable. We're gonna get on the inside. We also have wood on this Sensory package here. I like the vertical striations on the door, and we do have memory seats on this end. We also have the Bose sound system, which is standard on the base Luxe grade. We also have a standard sunroof, no pano roof available on this model. We also have the wood right here with aluminum surrounding it and a lot of glossy black plastic around the shifter. The shifter does feel good. We still have a volume knob, and to get to it, you kind of have to go over the shifter because my watch runs into it otherwise. But yes, and we also still have a CD player in here. We have dual screens. A lot of people like to hate on these dual screens. I think they're extraordinarily functional. It's really easy to play with the radio down here. And then up top, we have Android Auto playing, which is wireless on all grades. I've been using it in wired only mode just because we don't have a wireless charger in here, and this thing charges really quick. Pretty basic design on the dash. I think the vehicle overall does feel a little bit dated, but it is comfortable, so I guess it has that going for it. Behind the steering wheel, the MID looks very dated. We have a large MID that's low resolution. There's a vertical screen here, and then we have analog tachometer and speedometer gauge. A little exclamation point there is for low windshield wiper fluid, so don't think I have like a check engine light or anything like that. The steering wheel doesn't feel the highest quality in my hands compared to its competitors. Pretty basic rear view mirror. This looks like it came out of my 2012 Prius, for example. Sunglass holder there with a nice felt interior, and I think it's time to go ahead and get in that back seat. The doors feel very high quality, like the fit and finish and build quality on this vehicle is excellent. As you would expect, it does come from Japan. It is a Skyline over there, and we all come to expect that Japanese luxury vehicles should be pretty darn high quality. So I've been taking my kids to school in here. They don't have a lot of space for their feet. You can see their feet have been touching here. At least I have a mat pocket on each side. You have to pay an additional for these USBs in the back. At least we have vents back here as well. It's just not very comfortable. I would not want to be sitting back here for a long period of time. And we do also have an armrest in the center that you can flip up for some cup holders. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of the back seat. It's way too cramped for me, over 6 feet tall. And we're going to go ahead and start driving the Q50 because that's the best part about this vehicle with the twin turbo V6. So let's get locked and loaded here. We got the drag meter out, so that should help us see what kind of quickness we're playing with today in this vehicle. This is the all-wheel drive model, which isn't really necessary here in Florida. I also have a 360 camera, which, as you can see, it's not the highest resolution, but it doesn't really bother me. It used to bother me because Nissan's known to have pretty low 360 camera, but to be honest, just having that functionality of it is pretty handy. I have to do like a 9-point turn here because I don't want to get caught in the swamp. It's kind of misleading, these ditches on each side. I am in Florida. This is pretty close to the Everglades, so I got to make sure that I stay dry in this vehicle. A little sport mode here. We have lots of different driving modes, I guess, but we put it into sport. We're going to torque brake. Jeez Louise. I was not expecting it to launch that hard. Oh my gosh, 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. We might be able to beat that with a little bit better road surfaces. This all-wheel drive, there was no wheel spin, or it wasn't struggling for traction at all. I'm very surprised with how hard it launched. And that's a great thing about this turbocharged motor. I feel like you have so much power, even below 3,000 RPM. Above that, I feel like it kind of runs out of steam a little bit, but even then, it's still enjoyable to hear this engine rev to about 7,000 RPM on the red line. So that is by far my favorite part about this vehicle. The looks used to really impress me, but they haven't really changed the looks in a long time, so it's kind of grown stale. So the 7-speed automatic with the twin turbo V6 is peanut butter and jelly. We also have radar cruise control, lane keep in here, blind spot monitor, kind of the standard Nissan safety shield, I guess you could call it. It's good. I'd say it's pretty average for the industry, so that's all you could ask for. And we're gonna hit on the stop sign here. And another, I have a few favorites, the engine, but also the brakes. The brakes on this vehicle, as I get into them right now, are really good for the segment. Feels way better than any Lexus IS, and that includes the IS 500 and the brake pedal on that. Full throttle. Yeah, I feel like after 5,000 RPM it drops off just a tad, but it is still really satisfying to ring out. And around town, that torque just gets you up to speed with traffic and in front of traffic, around traffic, like that. It's great. But the brakes in here feel better than even the Genesis G70. The G70, those brakes, well, it's not necessarily the brakes that don't feel good, it's that the transmission downshifts and cuts into the predictability of the brakes. So it's not my favorite thing. And the Acura TLX, I would say, is on par with the braking system on this vehicle. So great engine and great braking performance. And of course, I mean, it's Florida, I don't have a lot of turns, but when I throw it in the turns, it does handle really well. Unfortunately, these seats are not bolstered. They call them sports seats, but I feel like I fly out of them when I'm pushing this vehicle around the turn. So I wish they hugged me more. But on the flip side, they are very comfortable. And if you're well over 200 pounds, they should still be pretty comfortable for you. Now I'm gonna put it back into sport mode here. And we're gonna see what this 7-speed transmission's like when you need that instant power. 3, 2, 1, pedal down. There's a delay, but it punches hard once it picks that gear. What's the delay like in standard mode, which you're gonna be in most of the time? 3, 2, 1, pedal down. The responsiveness feels the same, does a double downshift, and then you get that surge of power and torque. Road noise out here on the freeway going over about 60 miles an hour. You do get, and this is notoriously loud, this road right here too. Doesn't bother me too much. I don't feel like it's cutting into my peaceful experience, but you do have a good amount of road vibration coming through. If your foot is alongside of the tunnel here, you do have a little bit of vibration coming through, but this road is pretty garbage. But driving around town, I haven't had any issues with wind noise or road noise or ambient noise. It's pretty quiet overall. And I like that my knee can't really touch this, but it is padded. Why can't my knee touch it? Because my shin is running into the tunnel down here. So even though this is padded, unfortunately, you can't really rest your leg on it unless you take your foot off the gas pedal. So we're gonna do a quick 0 to 60 here, maybe get a little bit better. We got like 5.2 the first time. Brakes just are so good, so predictable. Nice and firm pedal. Gonna put into sport mode, torque brake. Jeez. That is a ferocious launch. And there's 5.21. I think the 0 to 60 on the all-wheel drive model might be a hair quicker than the rear-wheel drive. Yes, it adds weight, but honestly, like 5.21 is plenty quick, and it's so impressive how it puts down the power initially. Could it be even quicker if it had, you know, an 8-speed or 10-speed? Maybe. And I actually like this transmission better than the 8-speed in the IS. I like the IS's 6-speed all-wheel drive transmission better than the 8-speed rear-wheel drive transmission. I think Acura's 10-speed might be, it might be class leading over, let's say, the Genesis with the 8-speed, but all of them are pretty good, to be honest. I can't complain about them too much. The turning radius is not great in here. I'm going to do a U-turn, but I found out just a second ago, turning radius is not good, and also driving around town and stuff, the turn radius is not great either. I'm going to do one last acceleration run here. Power out. Yeah, this twin turbo V6 is fantastic. So how does this vehicle compare to its rivals, its Asian rivals specifically, on the market? Well, you have the TLX from Acura, you have the IS 300 and 350 from Lexus, and you also have the 2-liter and 3.3-liter of the Genesis G70. This vehicle, how it's priced with this sensory package, is a terrible value. It's outdated. Performance is great, I give it that, but it is a little outdated with tech and design. And when also you get over $50,000, you're getting close to Type S from the TLX. You're also getting close to the IS 500 with the big V8. You also have the twin turbo V6, the larger, more powerful twin turbo V6 from Genesis at that point. And you also have the more powerful Red Sport. So this vehicle is priced around $53K. Terrible value. You can get like almost everything on this vehicle except, you know, those blacked out front and rear ornaments, and maybe slightly differences on the interior here. You can still get heated seats, heated steering wheel on the base Lux grade, and that comes at $42K. You also get the same twin turbo V6. So the Q50 is a great buy under $45,000 brand new. If you're spending over that, terrible value. The competition will eat it up, not only with, well, in just every single regard, in my opinion. It loses out when you get over 50K, and even over 45K, I'd rather have a Lexus IS than this. And the TLX comes with super handling all-wheel drive in the upper 40s, and I would take that over this vehicle as well. So let me know down in the comments, 2023 Q50 from Infiniti, would you be interested in this vehicle at any price? And well, there's some crazy birds over there. Would you be interested in this vehicle, especially under 45K? You can get all-wheel drive on this model for around 45K and rear-wheel drive for around 42, 43K. So great value, like I said, under 45K. And I still really think this vehicle is a great driving vehicle. Unfortunately, it's essentially not much different than a 2014 model. So you could save a bunch of money and buy a used one and maybe buy a warranty. We got twin turbos on here. I'm not worried about the transmission really, but twin turbos might cause some issues out of warranty. But yeah, if you're buying it secondhand or third hand, buy an aftermarket warranty, you won't have to worry about that, and you would still be saving a ton of money compared to this. And then you also have a ton of money for modifications if you wanted to lower it, black some things out on it. Like, you could do a lot with an older Q50 compared to buying and dropping a bunch of money on a new one that is unchanged. Their sales haven't been good. I think December was slightly better, but the Q50 sales fell off of a cliff as well. So really sad to see this vehicle and its competition like the TLX just not do great, mainly due to the supply chain disruptions in 2021 and 2022. So hopefully 2023 Q50 can see a rebound in terms of sales and volume. And then looking into the future, this vehicle probably gets discontinued after the 2025 model year, and they replace it with the fully electric battery Infiniti sedan coming out of Canton, Mississippi. So we're a few years out from that. That'll happen in 2025, so that'll be probably a 2026 model year. So yeah, 3 more years for this vehicle on the market, and it's already been on the market for about 10 years, 9-10 years. It's very long in the tooth, but I got to cut myself off. Can't wait to see you guys down in the comments below. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves, and peace.